Good day, and welcome to the John Baillie Show. And my guest, Peter Godinez, is back to talk about his journey and his crusade in the world of sales. And in the last episode, he referred to something that's been sitting on this table. And I would like to ask you, what is that little black binder sitting there on the table?
I thought you would never ask, but I think it's real important for people to understand the map in regards to getting to this point. And why this particular book is so important to me is the fact that all this is actually a Bible. And what's significant to me, it's the Old Testament, New Testament, and what it has in it, it doesn't make me spiritual or any better than anybody else, but I think it's prepared me to basically present a message in terms of how to be successful. And what's so nice about it is I have pictures, photographs, notes. I have autographs from every single individual that I've ever valued, and they've left a good impression on me. Times my kids were born, everything that's ever happened in my life has this. And I look at this every day, and I'm on my mild, what do you call it, my lap year. I turned 59, so I'll be 60 next year. This is the time where I think now something's come to the head, and I'm supposed to help the masses in regards to getting them where they need to go. So thank you for letting me at least share this book.
How'd you get that?
I was at a men's retreat some 20-something years ago, and they handed them out. And I said, okay, from this point on, I'm going to try to read it, understand it, mark it. Again, it doesn't make me smarter than anybody else. It's just fact that I think it was the way I wanted to live my life. And so fast forward 20-something years, and here I am with you, John.
You. That's not bad.
Hey, thank you.
When you get down, depressed, not feeling good.
Oh, man.
Okay, it's been a bad day. Every time you come to an intersection, there's a red light. Do you ever refer to that during those times?
Absolutely. I mean, not to get kumbaya on you, but I really think a lot of times battles actually take place in your head. And for me, again, everybody processes differently. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden thinking about something, but I do, and then it overwhelms me. And for me, it's just like literally, people think I'm crazy when I'm driving my car. All of a sudden I yell, stop, and I just need to stop thinking about it. So yeah, I've been there.
Now, you were talking about, you're a decathlete.
Was a decathlete.
Was a decathlete. You're no longer a decathlete.
No, thank you for reminding me. No, go ahead.
At 59, you're no longer.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No.
And why is your experience, well, first off, tell me about what a decathlete is.
No, thank you for offering. A decathlon is a track and field event, and it involves 10 events, and I'm gonna hold my hands up because there's a point to that. There are 2 days, and there are 5 events each day. And I won't go through every one of them, but it involves jumping over hurdles, throwing something, running fast, jumping high, jumping long, and whoever gets the most amount of points wins the game. And I had a lot of success with it. And, held the record at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for 26 years. And I've had a chance to meet I've met a lot of famous people in track and field. If you name a decathlete, I'm not going to name a real popular one who just, now a woman, I'm trying to be funny, that's not working, but I've met them all. And I've had a chance to, because of this position, been able to meet people who are famous, who are wealthy, who are successful. The diversity has just blown me away. But it's done something to me. Obviously, I haven't pole vaulted a long time, but there's something happening that I'm gonna call it an epiphany that I really want to share with the world. And you're just giving me the opportunity to actually place it on a vehicle, and hopefully people who are interested will listen.
What does the 10 events mean to you?
It means 10 events, and again, it's something I have thought about all these years, but again, it's just something I just realized just a few weeks ago. But if you hold up your hands like this, John, how many fingers do I have?
10.
10. Okay, how many on each hand?
5.
5. Oh my God, wait a minute. And look, when you want to represent a book, what do you do to kind of show people that you're reading a book?
Put them together.
You put them together. Now, there are different chapters, and not that I'm going to go into all of them, but you call it sales, I call it success, I call it netting out. We all got to make a living. People need to consume. People need to buy at their own time frame. Well, guess what? I'm right-handed, so I'm going to be different than somebody else who's left-handed. Okay? So each one of your fingers represents a key secret. And there was a book written years ago, the Greatest Salesperson of All Time, written by Og Mandino, and I had a chance to meet him, and he could move a crowd, John. Well, guess what? I have the same thing here. And one of the things I'll say is, you'll have two thumbs, and these are your foundation. And one of the things that you and I talked about during our rehearsal, or calisthenics, is learning how to treat people is a really important thing, huh, John?
Absolutely.
Smile, voice reflection, listening, all those types of things.
Make people feel comfortable.
Make people feel comfortable, make people feel great, giving people a positive experience. I mean, I can go an hour just on that subject alone. But if you look at all these things and you look at your thumbs, you'll realize there are aspects of being successful. And I'll just share one because we have a limited time here. But learning how to treat people is an art and science into itself. And as much as I maybe agree to disagree with the sales, good salespeople know how to treat people, right?
Absolutely.
So that's where the decathlon comes in play. And the fact that it's simple, but it's something that you can think about every day. And then during the break, I was talking about the movie Indiana Jones. And if you remember the time, the guy burnt the impression on his hand, and I guess it was the Nazi army actually took the map and tried to pin this out, but they couldn't get it. But the original person all said, this is the instructions. Then he said, and then what did he do, John?
Turned his hand over?
Guess what, John? I have a whole new book here of things and secrets and mysteries that I can actually apply in my life. And it doesn't have to be my chapter. Again, everything is different. The fact that I have a certain personality stronger than most, well, guess what? I have that one down. But I have other things that I can work on. And people who don't want to see salespeople actually have this visual and this thing that I'm hoping, this epiphany, that I hope they'll consider to make them successful. And I mean by success, it's not winning a gold medal. Let's all set the target at, let's make a comfortable living for us and the people we love. Is that a fair goal, John?
It really is. Plus, the interesting thing is, with your 10 fingers, you're never going to leave home without them. They're always there.
It's always there.
And it's always going to remind you of your thumbs or your foundation, your index finger is something else, and you identify them as you go along.
Exactly.
And in turn, if you have a weak point or something that you would like to improve, you can do that by giving that assignment to a finger.
Exactly.
And say, in turn, I want this finger to help me listen more.
Exactly.
And in turn, work at it.
And back to the decathlon, the hardest event for me is the last event. It's a 1,500 meter, a little less than a mile. And if you've ever experienced a lack of oxygen where all of a sudden you run around the track 4 times and you literally cannot see nor walk, that is hard to do, but it was necessary. And it's just something I just had to work at. But I was an excellent hurdler and made up points that way. I was a decent pole vaulter. That always gave me points otherwise. But I had 10 events and 10 things I can do in my life. And the amazing thing about that, John, how many times did I had to remind myself, if I turn my hands over, this is not a natural thing unless you're getting your nails done like that, and the lady's probably going to apply to that one. But the fact that you can turn around and you have a whole new set of skills right here that are different, maybe a little bit more advanced, but hey, guess what? Here is my plan, and it's my plan, specific plan that's designed for nobody else.
And to win a decathlon, you have to win, or you have to succeed, not win, you have to succeed in all 10 events.
Exactly, meaning that if you look at the decathlon, although the world record holder kind of broke this, usually the winner doesn't take first place in any of the events.
It's a cum.
It's a cumulative standard set, and that's how you win. You could be the fastest person in the world in the decathlon, but if you can't throw and you can't jump, you're not going to place.
So that's the interesting thing about where you're coming from. Make sure you know your strengths and your weaknesses and your attributes, because they are so important to what you do and what you want to accomplish. It was very interesting years ago when I was looking for work and I was sending out a resume and they were interviewing me, and they would always say to me, "What's your strength?" And I would say, "My fairness and honesty." "What's your weakness?" Like, what's your weakness? Like, that's a question you're not supposed to ask. I always came back and said, "My fairness and honesty." My strength is my weakness is my strength. And in turn, that helps me. And I wouldn't want it any other way, because what you're talking about today is accomplishing and improving your attributes, your talent, so that you can become a better person. And by that, if you become a better person, you're going to become more successful. I think you become successful by being a better person, not the other way around.
Right.
I want to be successful. Well, if you are a victim of the Lucky Sperm Club and your parents are multi-billionaires, okay, you're set for life. But there's not too many people that are part of the Lucky Sperm Club. So it's us guys. And therefore we have to make the most of it in our environment today. You, who would you like, is there a secret that you have, or is there a certain message that you would like to convey to our audience out there?
Yes, and with limited time, I would say, I really believe the whole world should at least adopt the principle of just being a better person. Because there's one thing that you can't get away in our culture, is you need to contribute. And maybe there's people who don't, but I would say my message would be the fact that if even just 1,000 people just would at least understand this principle, I think I've done my job in regards to at least getting the message out. Because whether you want to be a professional salesperson or you don't think you want to be in sales, you still need to produce, you still need to be successful, so all these principles are actually apply. But I'd like to get the message out. I'd love to have go over each one of the aspects and see what people are. But if just these 1,000 people would actually just listen to this initially, I think that'd be a great start. Not everybody, but this is a select few.
Well, I can see people out there joining the Peter Godinez fan club.
We got to find a different name, but I understand what you're talking about.
But I could come back and say that if anybody out there today would like to have more information or would like to have Peter discuss something more in depth or another topic, please go to jbbroadcasting.net and in turn let us know, because I haven't mentioned this to Peter yet, but you're coming back. Because we just, I think, have the tip of the iceberg. And there's more out there that we can tell people how important it is in life, and you just don't sit back and take life for granted. Because we're only here for a short period of time. Make the most of it, be successful, but above all things, be happy.
I agree 100%.
Thank you so much, and you'll be back on the John Baillie Show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the 3 episodes.
It's been fun and enlightening. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day, and stay well.
The John Baillie Show, brought to you by JB Broadcasting. Ideas communicated daily.